All right, welcome back. So this is the final 5 strategies. So this is strategy number 6, joint ventures. So with a joint venture, it's very simple. Most of my deals, if not all of my deals, have been done through joint ventures. So basically, you can joint venture with the seller. The seller can provide your financing, or you can build out a construction project, or they can do seller financing for their apartment building. So the seller can provide you a joint venture. You can joint venture with another investor, so you can provide the down payment. They can qualify for the mortgage. You can qualify for the mortgage. They can provide the down payment. So, you can raise money from a number of different investors to purchase an apartment building. It's very common. So, joint venture with other investors. You're end buyer. So, you're doing a condo conversion, one of these properties, and you can bring in buyers to qualify for all the mortgages. That's how I done my deals. So, your end buyers can purchase from you and joint venture with you. The realtors can often participate. They can kick back some of their commission. They can work with you, et cetera, et cetera. And the reason I put in partnership with a question mark here is because a joint venture has a beginning, middle, and end, or they tend to have a beginning, and middle, and end. And a partnership is more of an ongoing relationship between two parties that can bind each other legally, especially in a negative way. So your business partner can go to Vegas and spend all your money and put your company in debt, and then you're personally responsible for it. Whereas in a joint venture, that can't happen. So that's the difference between joint ventures and partnerships. So yeah, joint ventures happen all over the place. Strategy number 7, this is called down payment provided. So basically, you're looking for people that want to work and provide the down payments for each other. So I'll give you an example of how it works. So first off, find a building owner who wants to sell, that does have equity in their property and is open to very creative terms. You're going to negotiate. Again, most sellers just want to sell, but about 30% of them are kind of open to this. They have a bunch of equity in their property and they don't need to get it all out because, again, what they do is they take the money, they put it in their pocket, they go down to the bank and they earn 0.65% or 0.85% right now in a GIC. So they want to get an ongoing return for their money. They know about real estate because they've owned it. So they're the perfect partners for you. So you're going to have them negotiate, leaving in between 20 and even up to 100% of the down payment through a profit sharing agreement. So they're going to provide the down payment, or they're going to do a profit sharing agreement with you. So you're going to match them up with an investor or investors or end buyers with good credit who qualifies for at least a 75 to 80% loan to value investor mortgage or end buyer mortgage. And then once that happens, you're the deal maker. So you're over here. You're going to package the party up with credit, package them up with the party with money, and you're going to negotiate the deal and put the deal together. So you can split the profits. I say 45, 45, 10 here. You can do 50, 30, 20. You can do 33, 33, 33. Whatever you want to negotiate, whatever the value is that you're adding to the deal, you can negotiate that for yourself. So just to give you some examples and numbers of how this works. So we're going to do a $600,000 sixplex. We're going to do $120,000 down, and we're going to have closing costs of $15,000. So either the investor or the seller are going to pay for everything. So $0 up front for you. It's going to rent out for a positive $800 a month positive cash flow, which includes 3% appreciation, 14% mortgage pay down. So it's just an ongoing management of the property. And then let's say a couple of years, it's gone up in value, so that it's going to sell at $800,000 minus $20,000 closing costs. Still leaves you $880,000 over your initial purchase price. So the seller gets their down payment back out of that, obviously, but then you split the positive cash flow. So no money, no credit needed out of your pocket. You just put the 2 parties or 3 parties together, you negotiated the deal, and off you go. So that's how you become a deal maker. Strategy number 8. Excuse me. So this is called pre-sale or buyer financing. So basically, you find a good deal, you pre-sell it before you even close, and then you close and then get your money out. So I'll show you an example how to do this. So basically, what you want to do is you want to find a strata or a condo titled building. In BC, we call them stratas. In Alberta, they're called condos. So different areas have different names for them. So just individually, it's a building owned individually per door. So example, you're going to be buying it, get it under contract for $95,000 per door. Then you go to your buyer database. Your investor buyers have 20% down payment at close available to close, and they're going to be buying it because it's a good deal say it rents out for $900 a month. They're going to be buying it at $120 per door because it makes sense to them. It's a very good deal for them. They have the down payment. So what you do is you arrange these. It could be 5, 10, 15, 20. I've seen this done as much as 60 buyers on the same day. So purchase financing is going to be arranged to close on the same day that you purchase. So basically, I'll give you a quick example, and then you cash out at close. And I'll give you a quick example. One of the other members who run, or one of the other fellows who runs a networking group and real estate investing group, he did this with a property up north, and I believe he had him under contract for $50,000, and he sold them to his investor buyers for $65,000. So he made a $15,000 spread, and then again, $15,000 times 60 gives you $900,000, or roughly $900,000 profit they made in that one day. So they just basically had everyone lined up. They all double closed on the same day. The buyers got an awesome deal. Those properties now worth probably north of $100,000, and they bought them all for $65,000. The initial buyer bought them for $50,000, just double closed in the same double closed, and the financing said, okay, yeah, these were all worth the price the buyers were paying. They all had the down payments, and off it went. So that's how to make a bunch of money in one day. So that's how to do strata titling, condo titling. Strategy number 9 is to set up a limited liability partnership. So this is a little bit more of a sophisticated strategy, but relatively simple to set up. So basically, you set up an LLP. So limited partners over here, the limited partners, guys on the right, they're going to put up at least a minimum of $1,000 or $2,500. Could be $5,000, $10,000, $50,000, whatever it is. And they can also use their RSPs and TFSAs. So limited partnerships are eligible for RSPs and TFSAs. So they can guess the profits. They can invest in and receive the profits tax-free through their TFSA. So the general partners here on the right, they have liability. They're putting the deal together. So they use the funds from the limited partners to pay for the down payments and the soft costs and the renovations and everything and all those costs. There is catch on this. There is setup costs, usually about between $10,000 and $20,000 to set up front. But again, you get to roll that in, and once you raise enough money from your limited partner investors, it takes care of all the legal costs and stuff. But potentially, again, no money down. There's a number of organizations locally here that they usually, when you go to real estate trade shows, you'll see them there, and they're advertising their limited partnership. And it's a good strategy. If you want to set one up, they're fantastic. So I can perhaps help with that if you just want to give me a buzz separately if you're interested in that sort of strategy going forward. I can introduce you to the right people. Strategy number 10, option agreements. And so basically this is a number of different strategies here regards to multifamily. So if you've heard of what's called a land assembly, basically a real estate agent or an investor knocks on some doors, or developer knocks on some doors, gets 2 or 3 people to agree to sell the property at the same price. Then they get it under contract, and then they either can flip it to a developer or they can rezone it or whatever, and then the property's worth a heck of a lot more once it's been rezoned, and then you sell it for a profit. You can also do rezoning. So there's another strategy. You get something under contract, you pay for the rezoning to come in, or you have your contract subject to the seller paying for the rezoning, and then you sell it, flip it to a developer on the back end. So obviously lawyers and contracts needed all the way throughout, and I'll actually give you an example of how this works. So for example, here's a real life example of this. A couple of years ago, 2010-ish, the Canby corridor here in Vancouver has been rezoned out to the airport. Someone noticed this. It was at a local real estate club, and he said, hey, why don't I just go out do this? So the next day he went out and knocked on 4 doors. He said, hey, I'm wondering if your property's up for sale. I'll give you $1 million for it. They all said yes, roughly about $1 million back then. They all said yes. So he got him under contract. Then he didn't know what to do with it, so he went to a local developer he knew, and he brought them the purchase contracts and said, hey, I'd like to sell these, or I don't really know how to do it, or I don't know what to do from here. And so the developer looked at him, said, where are they? And then found out where they were. And then he took his calculator out and plugged in the numbers. And then the next step was he got his checkbook out and wrote him a check for $1 million. And so basically he made $1 million with like a week's worth of work, which is not too bad. Not too bad. A nice little project. The developers got a very good deal though, because the reason was, and he got $250,000, what's called lift. He's got $250,000 profit times 4 in that by doing that land assembly. So he got a really good deal. Obviously, he made $1 million in about a week worth of work. The sellers got a good deal because they all sell the property for more more than they thought it were, and the property prices hadn't appreciated yet at that point. But right now, those places would be worth about between $3 and $4 million. So the developer themselves got a really good deal as well. So they got millions of dollars worth of equity for very little down, or very little money from what they paid. So it's a win-win-win. Everyone made money in that deal. So that's basically a real-life example of how it's done. Multifamily, another case study of a deal that I've done in the past. So this is the internal numbers that we put together on this deal. So basically, it was again, I think 2010 again was when this one was. Bought a 14-unit building. Cost of the building is $112,000 per door times 14 doors. I sold it to our investor joint venture partners at $155,000 per door on average. We received 75% financing at the appraised rate, and at the appraised value of the property of $155,000. So 75% of $155,000 is $116,000 times 14. So obviously we bought it for $112,000. There's a little bit of cash back left after close, plus all the down payments were provided through the equity of $38,000 times $750. So this was done a number of years ago. It's tiny bit more complicated these days, but you can still do this exact strategy. So $38,000 times 14. So 5 years later, exit strategy is going to be implemented. So the property prices tend to go up about 3% a year, so that's what we're budgeting. So let's say, for example, it goes up to $185 minus the $155 purchase cost times 14 gives appreciated value of $420,000. Cash flow, $100 a month times 14 times 12 months times 5 years gives $84,000 in cash flow. That's accumulating. And then mortgage pay down, $116,000. Right now they're mortgaged at $104,000 times 14 gives us $168,000. That's guaranteed money. That's mortgage money, mortgage pay down. So basically we got about half of all of this on the list. Plus we got our down payments back. So, and again, zero down. I didn't put any money into this deal. I just provided the credit. I found the deal. We packaged up the buyers, and so that's basically how it was done. It's a nice, fun, interesting deal, and I'd love to show you how to do these types of deals yourself. So basically, I always like to structure deals using the TFSA strategy if possible. And using a corporate strategy, because small business corporate tax rates it's about 11%, and the personal tax rate is about 40% on these large deals. So you want to make sure to structure it within a corporation, using leverage, and then make it scalable. So that's the types of deals that I do. Always ensure that the corporation is eligible for TFSA status. It takes a little bit of extra work and some paperwork, but it's well worth the structure. So just chat with me. I can recommend some people to talk to. So I think that's going to be it for a bit, and then we'll go over the next video is going to be a little bit more of an explanation about the Vancouver Real Estate Club. So thanks very much for watching this one.